If you're currently an Amazon seller and you're doing less than 100K per month, this video is for you. Whether you're an online or retail arbitrage seller, whether you're doing brand direct wholesale, or maybe even private label, okay? Take note from this video. This is exactly what you need to do. For those of you who are new to the YouTube channel, my name is Davy, and I've been selling on Amazon now for the past 4.5 to 5 years. I've managed to scale it to a multiple 7-figure per year business with teams, systems, process, commercial premises, and it's turned out to be a pretty successful Amazon business. However, it wasn't always this way, and really I plateaued for a long time and I struggled to scale. And I was stuck below the 100K per month mark for about 12 to 18 months before actually breaking that plateau. And it was really a few key concepts that I actually understood, which actually enabled me to scale past the 100K per month mark. So most Amazon businesses have a couple of key bottlenecks, okay? Typically these bottlenecks are product sourcing, actually being able to go out and find and acquire good quality deals. And the second thing is actually cash flow, okay? Once you actually manage to master, acquiring good deals and be able to find and attract good deals, the next bottleneck typically will be cash flow. So if you're at the stage now where you're doing like 10, 20, 50, 60, 70K a month, you're probably, unless you've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds in capital backing you, your bottleneck is likely going to be finance, okay? So to scale to the multi-7 and even 8-figure level mark, you're going to have to learn how to raise finance. If you look at all of the biggest financial institutions in the world, or even the biggest businesses in the world, all of the business operators behind these businesses have actually learned one invaluable skill. And that skill is actually be able to raise finance, actually be able to go out, raise capital from private investors, from banks, from institutions, and they've actually learned how to deploy that capital effectively, to be able to get a return on it, to reinvest the money, and actually be able to scale. So in this video, I'm going to be talking you through a 5-step process that if you're doing less than 100K per month, you need to be following in order to scale up your business. So the first phase of this process is actually being able to find and acquire good quality deals, okay? And if you've watched my YouTube channel before, you've probably heard me talking about this a lot. But before you even considering raising funds, taking on proper finance or anything like that, you really need to understand the key fundamental reasons why an Amazon business will be successful. And to create a successful Amazon business, you need to become a good operator. You need to become an expert in finding great deals, acquiring good quality trade accounts with brands, and be able to negotiate favorable terms with these brands. You need to basically put all of your eggs into that basket, spend as much time as you physically can over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 months at becoming an expert in acquiring these deals. Because if you skip past step number 1 and you just become average at finding okay quality deals, yeah, you can go out and find a product or source a product, but it's not of the highest quality, you're going to struggle to scale. So the step number 1 of the process is to acquire the knowledge and acquire the experience to be able to actually go out and find these deals. So phase number 2 is starting to build what I would call your product pipeline. Now, this product pipeline is basically an all-in-one document that basically compresses all of the supplier accounts that you've got into one document so that you're easily able to access and view these products. So once you become really great at actually finding deals, opening accounts, and being able to secure profitable products, you're going to find that you're going to have too many deals that you aren't actually able to fund. So you want to start building up this product pipeline document once you start running out of cash flow of accounts that you've actually approached the brand, you've negotiated the pricing, you've opened the account. The only thing you are yet to do is actually place the order with them, simply because you don't have the cash flow to fund it. So you want to start building up this documentation of all of these different brands. Maybe you're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 different brands on this spreadsheet that you can basically, you could buy these deals if you had the cash flow to fund it, okay? So you want to start building up this document until you've got maybe 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever your desired amount of money is, in this pipeline. And once you get to the point where, say, for example, you've got £30,000 worth of stock that you could buy if you had the cash flow, that's when you want to move on to the next phase of the process. And trust me, I know like £20,000, £30,000 sounds like a lot, but when you really become an expert in finding good quality, profitable products, you will build that up pretty fast. So once you've got a stage where you've got your pipeline to the desired amount that you want to sort of raise, you then move on to phase number 3 of the process, okay, which is actually going out there and raising the funds. This is something that is not talked about in the Amazon space at all. and in my opinion is one of the most incremental things that you can do and learn and understand to actually be able to scale. And this is not just Amazon specific. If you look at all of, as I said at the start of the video, if you look at all of the most successful businesses in the world, they all become great at actually raising money, whether it's from crowdfunding, equity investors, debt, from big private equity funds, banks, whoever it may be. They become great at actually raising money and attracting money into their business and actually deploying it into good opportunities, okay? So you basically just want to use that foundation and that process and implement it into the Amazon space, okay? So you want to look for private investors, banks, institutions, anywhere that you can actually raise funds to actually deploy these funds into the product pipeline, okay? So at this stage, you've already got, say, £30,000 worth of stock that you could potentially buy if you had the cash flow, but you just don't simply have the cash flow to fund it, okay? Now, these deals, if you're in brand direct wholesale specifically, should have a minimum of a 30% return on investment, meaning that if you're putting £30,000 into stock, you should be getting at least probably about £9,000 to £10,000 in profit every single time you buy and sell the stock. Now, if you have like an average turnaround of about 2 to 3 months, that means if you raise £30,000 worth of cash and you deploy it into those products, you're typically going to be making around £9,000 or £10,000 in profit every single time you sell all of the products. If you can manage to turn around that stock every 2 to 3 months, you can really see how this can compound over the space of a year. It's at this point you're able to approach banks, you're able to actually approach private investors with a strategy and a process and say, look, I've got this pipeline of stock, this is what I'm looking to raise, this is how much I'm willing to pay you on your money, and this is basically what I'm looking to allocate the money to. This is the risk profile of the deal, and go out there and approach private investors, banks, institutions, anywhere that you can sort of raise funds at a good rate. You want to go out there and look to allocate that to your pipeline. Now, the process of actually raising funds, whether it's from private investors or the bank, is a little bit of a complex process, and there is a lot of compliance behind it, and it's definitely not spoken about in the Amazon space at all, but there is so much opportunity and there is an abundance of money out there. You just really need to know how to actually find it, how to attract this money, how to present the investment and things like that, right? So if cash flow is something that you're struggling with in your Amazon business, it's something that I heavily cover inside the blueprint. I've got a full module on finance, understanding the ins and outs, the complexities of it, compliantly how to actually approach these things, like what to pitch, basically A to Z in terms of like the finance and raising capital and how to do it sustainably. We cover in depth in the blueprint. So if you're looking to scale your Amazon business to over 100K a month, that's whether you've got an existing Amazon business or if you're just looking to start, you can head to the description actually of this video and you can book in a call in my calendar. Just have an informal conversation about what it is you're looking to achieve, what it is you're doing at the moment, and whether or not we'd be a good fit to actually help you grow and scale an Amazon business. So if that's something you think you'd be sort of interested in, go to the description of this video. Like I say, it's a no pressure call, but it's there if you want it. So once you're at a stage where you've sort of built your product pipeline up and you're in the process of raising money and potentially you've actually sort of raised the funds and you've started building and growing your business, you're going to get to a stage where you're at maybe 80, 90, £100,000 per month in sales, and you're going to have a lot more operational complexities within the business, okay? So that's when you really need to move on to phase number 5, okay? Which is building process, system, and automation within your business to basically remove you from the day-to-day operations as much as possible and actually systemize your business. Because obviously with an increase in sales, it's not just a case of buying the stock and it miraculously sells. You've actually got to be able to handle an increase in volume. So if you're doing 80, 90, £100,000 in stock, if you're not using a prep center, it's going to be a lot more intense in terms of the packing and the prep side of the business for you. Especially at that stage, if you don't have many or any employees, you're going to need to start thinking about hiring staff, getting your sort of first warehouse team in place, and all of this kind of thing. And really to scale to the 2, 3, 4, £500,000 per month mark, you're really going to have to build good systems and process to be actually able to build this ecosystem that can handle the increase in volume. Because if you can learn how to build good operational infrastructure in terms of good systems and good processes to the point where you order £30,000 worth of stock, it enters your warehouse, The team all have their own roles. They all know how to pack, prep, and ship the products. They go out to Amazon, it sells, and all these sort of systems and process are working smoothly. It then becomes an ecosystem and its own machine where you can pretty much, the more deals that you source and the more deals that you're able to acquire, you can basically just throw them into this ecosystem. And that's how it becomes a much more scalable business. And this is how there are businesses out there doing millions and millions of pounds per month on Amazon. And it's because they've doubled down on these things. Make sure you implement everything I've taught you in this video, and I'm sure you'll be at £100,000 per month in no time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.